Hello and welcome to Omni Talk Retail's official kickoff of our OmniStars Spotlight Series for 2022, the podcast series we have developed in partnership with Quorso to recognize the top omnichannel operators based on the real headlines and the work they are driving within their respective organizations. Quorso is a tool your field leaders will actually thank you for. It turns all the reports into personalized top priorities, then helps them take the right actions to boost performance. Learn how leaders at over 25,000 US stores are saving time and driving impact at Quorso.com. I am Chris Walton.
And I'm Ann Mazinga.
And joining us today to help kick off the series is none other than Quorso's co-founder and CEO, Julian Mills. Welcome back, Julian.
Hello, thank you very much for having me back.
So Julian, I want you to explain to our audience first who Quorso is, and then a little bit on why you decided to partner with us, because we kind of chose each other for these awards for a very specific reason. But explain a little bit from your perspective.
Yeah, look, first of all, we're absolutely thrilled to be working with OmniTalk. Just to explain a little bit about who Quorso is. Quorso is a tool that simplifies daily work for store and area managers or store and district managers, okay? And we basically translate all of the data that retailers are increasingly collecting on things like sales and loss, etc., into personalized next best actions for thousands of colleagues. Now, and we're very lucky. We work with some extraordinary retailers who've been terrific to work with, people like Dollar General, PetSmart, Tractor Supply, etc. And I think that through that work, I become very aware of what extraordinary individuals, district leaders, and store leaders are. And really what a tough couple of years they've had. You know, they're in an industry where basically, you know, they're being given more and more to do. Their job has been hugely disrupted by the pandemic, and people are expecting more and more from them. And I think that while there are lots and lots of awards for brilliant marketing leaders and e-commerce leaders, et cetera, in retail, actually we're not doing enough to celebrate the 80% plus of people who actually work in stores. And so the reason we were so excited to partner with you is really to try and find a way to kind of bring some of those talented, dedicated people who don't get the limelight onto the stage.
Yes, 100%, Julian. I love it. That's exactly the goal that we were trying to get across when we talked about getting this going, right, Chris? I mean,
yeah, 100%. I mean, that's why I think you're right. We mutually align on this. I think, as you guys said, like it was such a good fit for the reason. For those reasons, I thought you articulated that beautifully. And I'm curious too, Julian, like when you step back and you think about this award, and you talked about it a little bit already, but what inspires you most about it?
I think the fact that we've seen so many extraordinary retailers signing up to this and saying, you know, wow, this is a great idea. I'd love to come on the show. And by the way, I think the most exciting bit of this is actually them saying, yes, and I want to pay it forward. You know, I want to pay credit to one or two exceptional field leaders who I think have done more than anyone else to try and make, you know, things happen in our store network over the last year or two.
You know, I think one of my favorite parts of the interviews, as those listening will find out, is there's a thing we're doing called the Pay It Forward section, where we are asking the retailers that are nominated to pay it forward to their store teams, their field leaders, to the points that you've been making. And that was your idea, Julie. And if I remember correctly, like you had that idea to do that. And what inspired you to make that happen? What inspired you to do that question?
Well, look, I think, as with all things, you know, ideas have 1,000 parents. I think we probably all had a similar idea at the time. But I think for me, you know, I spent a lot of time in stores. I spent a lot of time on the road with district managers, etc. And I think it was just a sense of how difficult that job is. Yeah, these are people working really, really hard. And, you know, particularly if they're district leaders, they're spending a bunch of time away from their families. They're working long hours.
Right.
And I think there was this kind of sense that actually, you know, the folk in the headlines, yeah, you know, I'm sure the CMO of, you know, retailer XYZ does an extraordinary job. Yeah. But they get a lot of awards for it. Yeah. You know, but actually the person who's delivering 80%, 90% of sales for that retailer is the person that I'm on the road with, and they don't get a lot of credit. Right. And that's what we wanted to sort of correct.
So Julian, let's get you out of here on this. Like, anything you'd like to say to either this year's award recipients or to all those that are listening?
Yeah, I'd say we salute you. You're brilliant. You've got the recognition you deserve. And I hope one day you're in a situation where you can pay this forward too. Thank you.
Well said. Well said. All right. Well, that wraps us up. Stay tuned because we have a number of great podcasts set to come your way over the next few weeks. Dilip Kumar of Amazon, Allison Peterson of Best Buy, Colin Yankee of Tractor Supply, and many, many more. Thanks to Julian Mills, CEO of Quorso, for helping us to highlight the best and the brightest top 20 OmniStars for 2022 and for supporting our work here at OmniTalk. As always, to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in and be careful out there.